Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to make a death by chocolate cheesecake. So we've got different layers out here. We've got a hot milk cake in the bottom layer. We've got chocolate cheesecake, chocolate ganache and some dusted cocoa powder on top. And we've made our own little flower here. So if you want to watch how to make it, stick around, and now let's go see how to make it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've taken 3/4 cup of milk here. This is boiling hot milk, and to it I'm going to add 1/2 cup of butter. I've used salted butter here. So we're going to mix this till it melts. And we'll keep this aside. Now into a pan I'm taking 3/4 cup of jaggery powder and 1/2 cup of curd. And we're going to mix it till it becomes a smooth paste. Now once this is done, I'm going to add in 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour, 1/4 cup of dark cocoa. You can use any cocoa. This is unsweetened cocoa. So that's 1.5 tablespoon of baking powder. Sorry, that's 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Now we'll gently mix it in. Now what we will do is we will start adding in our milk little by little, milk and butter mixture. So we'll add in half and try and mix it in, and then add the other half. So I've taken 1 teaspoon of coffee here, instant coffee, and I'm pouring in 1/2 cup of boiling hot water to this and gently mixing it. And then I'll add it to my cake batter and we're going to mix it. Coffee just makes the chocolate cake more richer. That's why I'm just adding into this cake. Gently mix it in. If your batter soaks more water, go ahead and add more water to it, but 1 tablespoon at a time. Because it's whole wheat, the flour will absorb more water. So each flour is different. This is the consistency we are looking at. This is the consistency we want. Okay, now let's pour it in our pan. Now I have prepared a 9-inch spring foam pan. So I'm going to pour my batter into the cake tin. So for the baking instructions for our cake, I have preheated our oven at 180 for 10 minutes, and I'm going to bake this in a preheated oven for 30 to 35 minutes. So I'll see you after that. So our cake is baked. I've let it cool down before I unmold it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unmold this and then clean the edges and then put it back. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I've done that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1/2 cup of chocolate and I'm going to pour in 1/2 cup of hot boiling milk to it. So I'm going to pour it 1/2 cup of hot milk into this, and I'm going to let it melt. Basically I want to make a chocolate milk out here. I'm not adding any cream into it. It's full fat milk and I'm just going to let the chocolate melt into it. Now I'm taking a skewer and I'm poking a lot of holes into this cake like this. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to pour the milk onto the cake, and I want the cake to absorb all the chocolate milk. Okay, that's done. So I'm going to just take my chocolate milk and pour it onto my cake. I'm going to let the cake absorb all the milk. I've placed a plate underneath this in case there is any, in case the pan leaks out any of the liquid. So I didn't want to add another cleaning job to it. So I've placed a plate below. And now I'll keep this in the refrigerator till I get the rest of the elements ready. Into a microwavable dish, I've taken 200 ml of fresh cream, and I'm going to add in 300 grams of chopped chocolate here. This is milk chocolate I'm adding. I couldn't get dark chocolate, but if you can find dark chocolate, use that. So I'm adding in 300 grams of chocolate. I'm going to melt this till it becomes chocolate cream or ganache. Now that's ready. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of salted butter. Just gives the richness, and the salt cuts the sweetness of the ganache. So we'll mix it in. Now into a mixer jar, I'm adding in 150 grams of cream cheese. This is homemade cream cheese. You can use store-bought as well. To this, I'm adding in half a cup of jaggery. You can decrease it or increase it according to your sweetness. And half of our ganache. You don't have to be precise with this, just add in half. That's it. Now let's grind this to a puree. Now we've ground this, and this is how it looks. Let's keep this aside till we get our cream whipped. I've got 300 ml of whipping cream here, and I'm going to whip this until it comes to a stiff peak. Now we've whipped the cream. What I'm going to do is add our mixture of cream cheese and jaggery and chocolate ganache to our whipped cream mixture, or whipped cream here, and we're going to gently fold it in. Little by little. Let's just fold this. That's ready. If you see how everything is mixed together. To this was the request of my boys, so I'm going to add in 8 to 9 teaspoons or more of chocolate chips. It's according to how much chocolate chips you want in your cheesecake. Let me see if I want a little bit more. This just breaks the creaminess and adds a little crunch. So I'm going to add in another 3 tablespoons. That's it. Let's mix this. Now I've taken our cake out, and what I'm going to do is pour the cheesecake mixture onto the cake and spread it across. Now you can use this upper layer even by keeping a biscuit layer at the bottom, like how we have a normal cheesecake. So you can do that as well. I wanted a cake layer in the bottom, and that's why I've given a hot milk cake. Now that's done. I'm left with a little bit of cream cheese mixture here. I'm just going to use it separately. So that's done, and we're going to freeze this for around 20 minutes before we add the last layer. Now for the last layer, I'm taking the leftover ganache and I'm just pouring it on our cake. So I'm just going to smoothen this out to the edges. Now I've taken around 2 tablespoons of cocoa and I'm put it in a strainer and see, just tap it all around so it gives this finish. Just see that all the places are covered. That's it. And I'm going to put it in the freezer overnight, and after that we'll unmold it. Now to make the garnish on top of the cake, I've taken some melted chocolate here. It has to be completely melted, and I'm going to put a small drop over here in between. And then with a flat spoon like this, it needs to be flat, I'm going to just pull it in like that. So that becomes the petal. So I need to do 5 of this. Now once this is done, I'm going to just lift up the back of the petal up like this onto the plate. So this is a slightly risen plate, if you see. I'm going to lift it up like this and I'm going to put it in the fridge. Now the same way I want to make some smaller petals. So I'm going to take a small dollop here and I'm going to make smaller petals. It's going to be the similar way. So let's make 5 more smaller petals. I'm going to put it in the fridge for 5 to 10 minutes. Now these are cooled, and if you see, they'll just come out from the parchment paper just like that. So I'm going to keep it in one side and let's assemble it. So for assembling, I'm just taking a small dollop of the chocolate in between, and I'm going to just place this here. Add in a little more chocolate if you want. Add in a little more, and then I'm going to stick all the petals on it. I'm going to just put a big dollop in between. And add in some sprinkles on top. And that's it. Our flour is ready. Now let's just cool this and then we'll assemble our cake. I'm going to demold our cake now. So let's see. Just leave it outside the fridge for some time before you demold it. Now we'll assemble our cake. So we'll put the flour that we made in one end, and then we'll take some more of our sprinkles and spread it all over. I'm going to put in some red ones as well, just for the pop of color. That's a thing. And that's it. Our cake is ready. Here you go guys, our death by chocolate cheesecake is ready. This is how it looks. We've got different layers here. We've got a hot milk cake layer, then we have chocolate cheesecake, and then we have ganache and topped it with raw cocoa powder. This is how it looks, and it's super easy to make this. Do try this recipe out. If you do like this, give me a thumbs up and do share and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye bye.